Welcome back to another edition of Seahawk Central News, your source for the latest news affecting the UNCW community. I'm Kara Trotter.
And I'm Sarah Lively. Safe surfing to those internet users checking us out on YouTube right now.
That's right, Sarah. Seahawk Central News is now viral with our own YouTube page. Check us out at youtube.com/TealTV2010.
Seahawk Central News starts right now.
A UNCW faculty member is currently in the hospital after breaking his neck. Dr. Lloyd Roller of the Comm Studies Department suffered the injury after a fall this past Saturday. According to Comm Department Chair Dr. Richard Olson, Roller is in stable condition and on track with the recovery plan. He has already had one surgery and will undergo a second surgery later this week. His classes for this semester have been permanently reassigned to 3 different teachers in the Communication Studies Department. Roller plans to come back to teaching by the spring semester and is already reminding his department chair of pending due dates for his student assignments.
Next week, the campus will be initiating a No Impact Week. From September 26th to October 3rd, each day students will be given different no impact tasks. Things such as buying less, lowering trash and energy waste, eating from local vendors, and decreasing water usage and transportation waste are just some of the activities the week will highlight. A no-impact lunch at Wagner Hall is one of the activities, and demonstrations the campus will have to highlight the week. For more information, check out the news section of the UNCW website and tune into Seahawk Central News next week for a highlight of week events.
Keeping with the No Impact theme, a student club held demonstrations last week to protest BP's newly proposed oil drilling plan.
That's right, Kara. Eco Teal is the club, and our Chris Vickery has the story.
UNCW Eco voiced their opinion last Friday to stop offshore drilling in Alaska. They stood outside Wagner Dining Hall and Randall Library to get students to call Secretary Salazar to prevent offshore drilling.
Yes, this message is for Secretary Salazar. My name is Robert Edward Connolly Jr. I'm from Durham, North Carolina. I just wanted to call and let you know that I want to prevent BP's Liberty projects and all new offshore drilling projects. I think with the recent BP spill out in the Gulf, I think we've really learned a good lesson, and I hope that you take a stand on that as well.
UNCW was one of many campuses across the U.S. who participated in calling Secretary Salazar to protest the drilling project. In light of recent events, offshore drilling has been banned. However, BP's Liberty project has found a loophole.
Okay, so right now in Alaska, BP is drilling where they shouldn't be. Offshore drilling is illegal, and what BP has done is dumped gravel in the ocean. They're going to drill on that and call it onshore drilling.
We spoke to students who made calls to find out why this is important to them.
I made a phone call because due to the prior BP crisis, I'm kind of nervous about them starting a new project. They don't really have the testing that has been necessary, and I'm really nervous about the effects that it could have on the environment, since their last project, which was smaller than this one, had detrimental effects on the water.
Just looking at what's happened in the Gulf recently, everybody thinks it's not going to happen, and all the oil companies and the government tell you that they've got everything under control, but obviously they don't. There's a lot of buy-ins, there's a lot of loopholes, and accidents happen, and we can't afford it.
After a week of phone calls, ECO members and supporters took to the beach to fly their banner.
Today students are holding a demonstration calling on Secretary Salazar to stop BP's Liberty drilling project in Alaska, and to call on him to ban all new offshore drilling projects off the U.S. coast. We hope to unite our community and our students in this action to stop offshore drilling. And we hope to send a message to Secretary Salazar that we do not want offshore drilling.
UNCW ECO effectively took their calls from the campus to the community today, and with the kind of support that they saw today, they can certainly hope that their voices will be heard. I'm Chris Vickery reporting. Seahawk Central News, Teal TV.
Thanks, Chris. I made one of those calls, Sarah, and it felt good to get a chance to voice my opinion.
That's one of the great things about this country, Kara, the freedom to let your voice be heard. Another great thing about this country?
Free condiments at fast food restaurants?
Well, of course. But more specifically, I was talking about all the great sports coverage. Let's get over to Ben Tyson at the sports desk to catch us up with dates for the latest Seahawk athletic news. Psh, I'm never paying for my catch-up.
Thanks, Sarah. The men's soccer team, fresh off of a weekend sweep at home in the Courtyard by Marriott Classic, headed into battle last Wednesday against the Campbell Camels. The Seahawks came out victorious 3-1. Etienne Boulanger scored twice in the second half for his second career two-goal game. The points didn't stop there as Boulanger assisted Tyler Clare's first goal of the year. Boulanger made enough of a mark to be named CAA Co-Player of the Week. Campbell avoided the shutout by netting a penalty kick in the final 30 seconds, stealing a third straight shutout from keeper Brock Duckworth. The win improved their record to 4-1. Tune in next week for highlights of the men's upcoming game against Duke. Sticking with soccer but switching sexes, the women's soccer team beat UNCW's chief out-of-conference rival, East Carolina, last Thursday 1-0. Junior Aaron Pardini scored the only goal of the match as UNCW got the victory 1-0. Pardini scored in the 65th minute, tallying her third score of the year. Junior keeper Chandler Follett managed her second shutout of the season and 11th of her career. They were not so fortunate on Sunday against the Richmond Spiders, however, as they fell 3-5 on the season with a 2-1 loss. Unfortunately, the match wasn't as close as it sounds. The Seahawks' lone goal didn't come until the 82nd minute when Stephanie Rose notched her fourth goal of the young season on a penalty kick. The women kick off conference play this Friday against Delaware at 7 p.m. at the UNCW Soccer Stadium. Switching sports, the women's volleyball team took 2 out of 3 matches this past weekend at the Beach Bash tournament. After losing 3-0 to North Carolina State on Friday, the volleyballers came back strong on Saturday, sweeping Campbell and Elon. Kelly Clear led the way against Elon with 15 kills. Samantha Seifert had 13 kills of her own, and freshman side hitter Christy Late had 10 of her own. Junior middle hitter Emily Mormon dominated versus Campbell. She had a team-high 11 kills and a 55% attack percentage. With the countdown to Midnight Madness getting smaller and smaller, let's get to the latest basketball news. Coach Buzz Peterson made a couple of big announcements this week. The first came early in the week when Peterson said that Miami transfer Antoine Allen has left the program to become a recording artist in the music industry. The 6'1", 185-pound guard played in 17 games for the U last year. He averaged 2.9 points and shot almost 42% behind the arc. The second piece of news came when Coach Peterson announced 2 walk-on players this week. Junior Cam Chambers is from Durham, North Carolina, and has spent the last 2 years as a team manager. The 6'4", 200-pound Chambers averaged 16 points per game at Durham Academy as a point guard in high school. It will be interesting to see if Coach Peterson lets him run the point in his undersized lineup. Freshman Shane Rybold will add some height to that undersized roster. The 6'7", 220-pound forward from Laurel, Maryland, collected 17 points and 9 rebounds per game in 2 seasons at Reservoir High School. He's shown bright as a multi-sport star during his school career, playing lacrosse, football, and soccer in addition to basketball. That's all for this week. Don't forget to go to uncwsports.com for the latest Seahawk athletic news. Kara, Sarah, both of you, take it away.
Thanks, Ben. The Wilmington community is a safer one this week as Wilmington Police Department made a $250,000 drug bust. According to Police Chief Ralph Evangelos, detectives found 12,000 doses of heroin in a Wilmington man's car during a traffic stop. Arthur Curtis King has been charged with 2 counts of drug trafficking and is being held under a $1.5 million bond. Evangelos estimated that 50-year-old King was responsible for 90% of Wilmington's heroin supply. King has been investigated by Wilmington Vice and Narcotics for 6 months before the arrest on Monday.
Wow, that is an incredible bust, Kara.
Yeah, apparently it was the largest heroin seizure in Wilmington's history.
Well, that wraps it up for this edition of Seahawks Central News. Special thanks to UNCW TV and the Communication Studies Department for making our show a possibility.
Even more thanks to Bill Denome and Dustin Miller. Check out the latest edition of the Seahawk at newsstands all over campus. Remember, you can keep up with Seahawks Central News by stopping by youtube.com/TealTV2010.
We here at Teal TV would like to extend our best thoughts to the Roller family as we hope for a speedy recovery for Dr. Roller. Until next time, I'm Sarah Lively.
And I'm Kara Trotter, saying so long, Seahawks.
So long.